Good morning, all of you. So, as we know that in yesterday's class, we people already revised what is the laws given by Mendel's regarding this genes transformation. That is what the law of dominance, and the second one is law of segregation, and the third one is law of independent assortment. So now we have two ratios. One is monohybrid ratio. So as we know that he has been found that so the monohybrid ratio, which is equals to what? 3:1, means a tall plants versus dwarf plants. If you take the ratio, has been found that 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf plants in which generation? F2 generation. Is it yes or no? F2 generation, the monohybrid ratio is 3:1. Now, if it comes to here, dihybrid ratio, if we'll take, so in this also we can see 4 different varieties of seeds that has been found. That is what we discussed yesterday also. So on the ratio, this equals to, what is the ratio, dihybrid ratio, guys? 9:3:3:1. So this is only ways to call it as dihybrid ratio. So in this is also in which generation? F1 generation or F2 generation?
F2 generation.
F2 generation. So now in that, if we'll take, so if we'll take here 9, if we'll take some F2 progeny will be tall plant, which around the seeds are how many? It is 9 seeds. That is what F2 progeny. Next one, what? If we'll take same way, that is what round and yellow seeds. Next one, round and green seeds. Next one, wrinkled and yellow seeds. And last one, wrinkled and green seeds. This is what we people has been studied in this dihybrid inheritance, and as well as we can say law of independent assortment. Now, if it comes to our today's class, we are going to study how these characteristics or traits transmitted to progeny. So this is already we studied that. So what is the basic form of transmitted characteristics from parents to the progeny? Through whom, guys? Who is responsible for transforming the characteristics transmitted to progeny from the parents? Who is responsible? Who is responsible? It is a DNA proteins which contains what, guys? A DNA contains which contains what?
Chromosomes.
Genes. Genes are the basic units of transmitted. Do you remember, Arvind, as I taught you while I'm teaching the chromosomes, explaining the chromosomes, as I told you, genes we used to call it as a unit of DNA on which a chromosome which governs the synthesis of one protein, and that will controls the specific characteristic of an organism. That is why we can say genes are the actually unit of heredity. Do you remember? I taught you while I'm teaching chromosomes. So genes are actual units of heredity which transfer characteristics from parents to their offsprings during when, guys? During reproduction. Yes or no? Do you remember or not? Have you written? So that is why we can say genes are what we used to call. Genes are we used to call the units of heredity. You understand, everyone? Units of heredity. So these genes only is responsible for transmitting any character from parents to the offsprings during reproduction. So now if you notice it, so these genes are responsible for the characteristic features of any organism, if we'll take including the plants and as well as animals. So everything, these genes is only responsible. So the characteristic of parents are transmitted to the progeny through the genes present on their where, guys? These genes are present inside where? These genes are present inside where? That is only ways to called as
Chromosomes.
Yes, please respond. Others don't know. That is only ways to called as chromosomes. And during the process of sexual reproduction, it will be happening. So the characteristics of anything or traits of anything of the parents, they are transmitted to this any offsprings or progeny through the genes only, and these genes are present on the inside these chromosomes, and it will be happen in plants and as well as animals during the process of sexual reproduction. So now how this happens, let us discuss in detail. That is what our today's class. So during the sexual reproduction, how this transmitting the characteristics, how they are transmitting to the progeny, we'll study in detail now. So now let us comes to here. If you know that always genes will work as a what, guys? Individually or pairs? That is what I want to know first. Everyone, genes will work as a what? Every genes will work in what, guys? Genes will work in pair or individual?
Pairs, sir.
Always genes will work in pairs. That is the first point which you need to remember. So if you take, there is a pair of genes for each characteristics of an organism. So if we'll take, for example, tallness. So tallness only if we'll take, so we are having a pair of genes. What is the pair of genes? Can you able to say? Either capital TT or we can take capital T, small t. These are the possibilities. Is it yes or no, guys? Tallness plan? Yes, please respond. So
Yes, sir.
if you take any characteristics of an organism, always the genes is work in pairs only. So the pair of gene is only responsible for the organism, any characteristics of an organism. So if you are observing any progeny or genotype, understanding? So phenotype or genotype in any kind of organism, so a single gene is not responsible for that. A pair of gene is responsible for that characteristic. So in that pair of gene, in this pair of gene only, so each gene, one gene name called as what, guys? What we used to call? Two kinds of genes we used to found. What is that one? Anybody? One is called as what?
Dominant gene.
Dominant gene, and another one we used to call as what?
Recessive gene.
That is what you have to understand. So if you take any characteristic, or there is a pair of genes for each characteristic, and each organism contains always any characteristics, only pair of genes only. So in that pair of gene, one is a dominant gene and another one is what, guys? A recessive gene. So now if we'll take in sexual reproduction, we are talking about the sexual reproduction. So now sexual reproduction means how many parents are involving, guys? How many parents?
Two parents.
Single parent or two parents? Two parents.
Two parents.
Is it yes or no? So one is what? In sexual reproduction, one is male parent, another one is female parent. So now if we'll take here, each parent processes a pair of genes for each characteristics and a pair of chromosomes only. But if we'll take, each parent passes only one of the two genes of the pair for each characteristics. Means if we'll take a pair of, here one pair of genes we are getting. So one gene is coming from the one parent and another gene is coming from the another parent. So that is what it is happening during the sexual reproduction. So each parent only passes only one of the two genes of the pair for each characteristics of its progeny through the what? Through the gametes. That is what we used to call as male gametes and as well as female gametes. Understand that? So if you are observing, for example, plants, or else if you are observing animals. So as we know, Mendel's experiments only. In F2 generation or F1 generation you can take. So one tall plant and one dwarf plant if you take. So now what is the gametes, guys? See, here two parents are involving. So now what is the gametes here? Anybody can say? What is the gametes? One is capital T, another one is capital T. And this one is what? Small t, another one is small t. Now what is the pairs, guys? Tell me what is the pairs of chromosomes in characteristics?
Capital T, small t.
And this is coming from the small t, this plant. Now this is what? Capital T,
Capital T, small
and this
t.
is coming from the small t. So now this
Small
is
t.
Again, capital T, small t.
and this is small t.
Capital T, small
And
t.
here capital T
Capital T, small t.
and this is small t. So now if we'll take here, this is what one set of chromosomes. Is it yes or no, guys? This is what one pair of gene. Will you accept it or not? Please respond. Pair of gene. Yes or no? So what is this characteristics, Ra? Kevin? What is the progeny?
Tallness.
Yeah, tallness we are observing. So this is what one trait. Will you accept it or not? This is the tallness in the F1 generation. So F1 generation or F2 generation, whatever if you'll take. So this is what the progeny. So now in this progeny, if you notice it, this is the characteristic or trait which I am observing. So now here one pair of gene is present. So in this one pair of gene, one gene is coming from where? One gene is coming from one parent. Another gene is coming from the second parent. Is it yes or no? True or not? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is what I am saying. So during sexual reproduction, do you understand it? So if we take any kind of transmission of a characteristic of any gene or any progeny, if we take, so it contains what always a pair of genes will be present. So any characteristics will be decided by a one pair of gene. In this pair of gene, one gene will come from male gamete and another gene is coming from where, guys? Another gene is coming from female gametes. Understand? So that is only it will form a single characteristics of a progeny. That is what you have to remember. So each parent passes how many genes, guys? Only one of the two genes of the pair for each characteristic to its progeny through the gametes. So this male and female gametes carry how many genes? Male and female gametes carry how many genes, guys? Arvind, Padmavarshini? Male and female gametes carries how many genes? Here you can see, this is what gametes correct. In the plants we have been studied F1 generation. This is only we used to call it as gametes. Please remember your notes. So now, this is what we used to call it as gametes. So now, male and female gametes carrying how many genes? How many genes they are carrying? Each one? Nobody is answering, then what is this? How many genes it will carry, I am asking. Each gamete. Pair of genes or single gene? That's fine. If you are not understanding, that's okay. So tell me at least you understand or not? Nobody?
Sir, half.
That's fine. So now you see, for example, if we'll take F1 crossing, will go. So now if we'll take here, F1 crossing, what is the plants we have been taken? Inheritance. F1 cross, tell me, monohybrid crossing. So we are taking two tall plants. This is the tall plant and this is the another tall plant. So now if we'll take here, tall plant, what is the phenotype appearance? Capital T, small t. And here also, what is this, guys? Capital T and small t. So now, this is the now if F1 cross, if we'll take, this is the one parent and this is the another parent. So now it contains, this is the chromosomes and this is the set of chromosomes. Now, if you notice it, what is the gametes forming from here? Anybody can say, what is the gametes forming from here? From this, what is the gametes will form? Gametes. Capital T and small t, that is, yes, you people know, that's you have to understand, that is only. So capital T and small t, and these from these parent, what will form gametes? What is the gametes will form? Capital T and small t. So that is what only called as law of independent segregation, law of segregation we used to call it as. Now, if you are taking the crossing during sexual reproduction, so what is the pairs will form, tell me? What is the pairs will form? So this is one parent. So capital T will come and from this one another gene is coming. This one another gene is coming. This is capital T and capital T. So now what one characteristic is transferred to the baby or offspring. That is what we used to call as tallness. Is it yes or no, guys? Yes. So now,
Yes, sir.
this is what we used to call as a set of chromosomes. What we used to call, or else a set of gene we used to say. So now, these genes, one gene is coming from how many parents? One gene is coming from one parent, and another gene is coming from another parent. Yes or no? So now let me take second set. Now the second characteristic we will take. So the first gene is coming from the first parent, and the second gene is coming from the second parent. So this is what it is, a set of chromosome or else a characteristic which is transformed to the offspring. So that is also used to called as what? What is the character transferred here? Tallness only. Yes or no, guys? Yes. So now in this tallness, if we'll take, what is the gene, pair of gene, capital T, and another one is what? Small t. Yes. Now this capital T is coming from where, guys? First parent. Yes or no? Yes or no? Capital
Yes,
T is
sir.
coming from the first parent, and the small t is coming from where? Small t is coming from where? Second parent. Is it yes or
Second
no?
parent.
This is coming from the first parent, and this is coming from the second parent. Now that is what I am asking. Each parent during sexual reproduction, how many gametes it is sharing? That is what I am asking. How many gametes it is sharing? See, each characteristics contains one pair of gametes, but during sexual reproduction, each parent will share how many gametes? I am asking you. Still not understand? You just tell me once again, I will say. No issues. At least open your mouth, I can speak something correct. That's okay. Now you tell me, for example, if we'll take the tallness. So for example, in this is what we used to call as parents. Yes or no, guys? This is what we used to call as parent, and this is what we used to call as parent. Will you accept it at least? Yes? F1 crossing?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is what we used to call as progeny, or we used to call as offsprings. So now let me take offspring now. So now let us individually discuss. Now I have taken two parents. This is what the first parent, capital T small t, and this is what the another parent, capital T small t. Now, this is the parent chromosome. Understanding? Parent chromosomes, suppose this is the tall. This is the first parent, and this is the second parent. So now we are taking the one character. It is having so many characteristics, but we are taking the characteristics of what? Tallness here. So now here also we are taking the characteristics of what, guys? Tallness here. So now you tell me, each character contains how many pairs of genes, Ra? One pair of gene. Yes or no, guys? Yes? One pair of gene is present. Yes or no? And here also how many genes is present in this characteristics parent? One pair of gene is present. So now, if we'll make, while during the sexual reproduction, this fully won't be transferred to the offspring. It cannot form. And this fully cannot transfer to the offspring. What is happening? This will be separating into the two gametes. What is the gametes, guys? This is capital T, and this is what? Small t. And this is what is happening, what? This is capital T, and this is what we used to call as what? Small t. Now, you tell me, now this both will intercourse or they will be involved in the sexual reproduction. Now, this is what we people is called as individual gametes. Is it yes or no, guys? That is, at least are you able to understand till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now you tell me, when they are involving in the sexual reproduction, so now let me imagine first offspring will produce. So now first offspring, what is producing? Tell me, everybody, what is the first offspring? First, one gamete from the capital, that is what? From the first parent. And the second gamete from where it is coming? Second gene is coming from where? Second parent. Yes or no? So this both will combine. We used to get the one set of chromosome in the offspring. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now, same way if we'll take second offspring. So that is one set of chromosome. Now, so if you take second offspring, this is the first gamete is coming from the first parent, and this is the second gamete is coming from the second parent. So now, that is what I am asking. During sexual reproduction, each trait or each characteristics of offspring is made by a one set of or one pair of genes. Is it yes or no, guys? One pair of genes. Will you accept it? Please. Now I am asking. This is the characteristics which we are observing in where progeny. Now these characteristics is forming in the progeny by donating how many gametes of each parent. That is what I am asking. That is the question I am
Two
asking.
gametes, sir. Two gametes.
But each parent I am asking, Kevin. Each parent I am asking.
Sir, half.
Each parent will donate one gamete, correct? See, this is one pair of gamete. One pair means what? One is capital T, another one is small t. Try to understand slowly and clearly. This is very important concept. Now, capital T is donated by what, guys? Capital T is donated by one parent and
Parent.
small t is donated by another parent. Yes or no?
Parent.
Then only this fully we used to call as one pair of gene, which is developed in the progeny. Yes or no, guys? Yes. So now I am asking in one set of gene, how many gametes of each parent is coming? How many gametes is shared by each parent? That is what I am asking.
One gamete, sir.
Totally correct.
One.
That is what I am asking. Understanding from the beginning, I am asking you the same thing. So, if you take any characteristics, any characteristic in any animal or plant, understanding. Suppose this is the parent. So we know that sexual reproduction, two parents are involved. So now these two parents, for example, one parent is completely tall, one parent is completely short. Now the offspring may be tall or maybe dwarf. We don't know. Now in this, what is the characteristics coming? One capital T, one small t will develop, for example. So this is the pair of gene present here. This is the pair of gene present here. And this is the pair of gene present in where, guys? Offsprings. Correct?
Offspring.
So in this, if you'll notice it, this capital T is coming from the one parent. And this small t is coming from the one parent. So that is only I am asking. During sexual reproduction, if any characteristic is developed in the offspring, so each parent is contributing how many gene? That is what I am asking. How many gene it is contributing each parent? One gene only, correct? We want one set of genes. So one male parent will donate one gamete and female parent donate one gamete. So both will form one pair of chromosome. Yes or no? One pair of gene. Yes, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Still, you are not understanding? Please respond me. Nobody will answer. It's okay. So this is only we used to call as progeny. So if you take any kind of characteristic or a trait which is developed in the offspring, so one male gamete and one female gamete carry one gene for each characteristic. From the genes, a pair of the parents. So parents is having pairs of genes, but the characteristic which is developed in the offspring, so one gene is donated by the parent and another gene is donated by the male parent and another gene is donated by the female parent. Then only it will be forming one set of chromosome. Do you understand? One set of chromosome in the offspring for any characteristics. That is what I am saying. So these genes are located on the pairs of chromosomes. Everything a pairs of chromosomes it is located. So when a male gamete fuses with a female gamete during fertilization, they make a new cell. That is only we used to call as. What is that cell called as, guys? After fuses. So male gamete will fuse with the female gamete. What we used to call? They used to form a cell we used to call as. That is only we used to call as zygote we used to say. So now that is what a zygote with a full set of genes it will be forming. So these zygote will grow and keep on developing to form a new organism which is having a characteristics from both the parents which it has inherited through the genes. So now that whatever the sperm if you take, that is what the male gamete. So if you take the human only, so the male body contains how many set of chromosomes, guys? Male body contains 23 pairs of chromosomes.
23 pairs.
Female body contains how many? 23 pairs of chromosomes. Now, during sexual reproduction, see, the 23 pairs of chromosomes contains different kind of characteristics. Do you understand? And these female 23 chromosomes also contains what? 23 different kind of traits. Now, during the sexual reproduction, what is happening? Each characteristics developed in the offspring. Understanding? For example, offspring developed by the tallness. Understanding? So, in this 23 pairs of chromosomes from the male, one gamete is responsible for the tallness in the offspring, and one gamete is responsible from the tallness in the offspring from the female gamete. That is what I am saying. Each character is donated by one gamete from the male and one gamete from the female. Like that only characteristics will develop. That is why we can see and offsprings father habit means they are similar to be father and similar to be mother, because each character developed by them is sharing by one gamete from the male and one gamete from the male, guys. One gamete from the female. That is what I am saying you from the beginning. So these two genes or a pair of genes is only responsible for a particular characteristics always present in the corresponding positions of the pairs of chromosomes. So now before class I have been showing you the 23 pairs of chromosomes in the human body. So if you notice it in male body, 22 pairs are common and 22 pairs in female body is also common. So one pair is different. What is the different pair in male body, guys? That is XY set of chromosome in male body, and in female body what it is? XX of chromosomes. So remaining 22 chromosomes, pairs of chromosomes are similar in male and female bodies, but in male body, XY is the different set of chromosome, and XX is the female different set of chromosome. So now, if we'll take for example, I will show you the picture and I will explain you. So let us take one chromosome picture and you can understand. So in chromosome always what? A pair of genes is present. So in the pair of gene, one gene is coming from the male body, another gene is coming from the female body. That is what is only I am saying you from the beginning. So if you take any characteristics in a progeny, that one gene is coming from the male body and another gene is coming from the female body. Can you able to see the screen? Everybody, please respond. Yes. Can you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now here I am showing you something. What is this? Can anybody say? Padmosini? Krutika, what is this I am saying?
A pair of chromosomes.
This is what I am showing you a pair of chromosome. Yes or no, guys? So one pair of chromosome. So now if you take here, so you tell me in this, if you notice it, so this first pair, this first one is coming from whom, guys? First one is coming from whom? Male parent.
Male.
Understanding. And the second one is coming from whom?
Female.
Coming from whom, guys? Female parent. So now this both is combining and this is the responsible for one of the characteristic trait in the progeny. That is what I am saying. Yes or no, Arvind? Are you understand, Arvind?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is only I am saying you from the beginning. Understand? So if we take here two genes for the same characteristics, that is what here we are talking about what? Tallness for the plant. And this is what? Gene responsible for the dwarfness. That is what? Small t. So now if you take here, if you notice it, the same characteristic, that is what? A length of plant stem. That is what responsible here. That is stem length. Either the stem is tall or the stem is dwarf. That is what we are studying from the monohybrid and dihybrid inheritance also. So if we take here it is, this is the pair of chromosome responsible for the tallness of the plant stem. So if we take here, they are present in the corresponding positions of pairs of chromosomes. So now here you notice it, one gene of pair is responsible for whom, guys? One gene of pair is responsible for whom? It is responsible for tallness. And another pair of gene is responsible for what? Is responsible for what? In this set in this pair only, One is responsible for the tallness and another one is responsible for what?
Darkness.
For what? Dwarfness. Yes or no? So the progeny inheritance to two genes. Two genes are a pair of genes for each trait. That is from its parent, and but the trait shown by the progeny depends on the inherited gene. That is what? A dominant gene. Do you understanding? So that is only I am trying to say you try to understand. So now if you notice it, I have been taken one tall plant and the another one is what? Dwarf plant. This is what two plants I have been taken. Now what is the gametes? You try to speak, guys. What is the gametes it is forming? Gametes, what is the gametes will form? Capital T and capital T. And what is the here gametes will form? Small t and small t. Now crossing, what is the offsprings? Tell me offsprings.
Capital T, small t.
Capital T, small t.
Capital T, small t. Next one. Capital T, small t.
Capital T, small
Small
t.
t.
Capital T, small t. Capital T.
Next
Capital
one.
T, small t.
Capital T, small t.
Capital T.
Sir, no?
Small t.
Is what? So
Yes, sir.
this is what offspring. This is what offspring. So this is only, let me take, this is the chromosome which I am showing you here. Are you understand, guys? One is tallness, another one is what? Dwarfness. So this is the characteristic. So what is the characteristic developed in the offspring here? Tallness or dwarfness? Tallness or dwarfness? Tallness is yes or no? So try to understand whatever the characteristics is developed in the offspring. Do you understand? So it is possible only one set of chromosome. In that one chromosome is coming from the male parent and another set of chromosome is coming from the female parent. But here I am saying tall plant and dwarf plant. But the appearance or the phenotype is decided by the offspring. Either the phenotype means the offspring is appears either tall or dwarfness is decided by the dominant trait. Do you understand, everybody? So it will be they will be together like a pair, but here it is appears as a tallness because why? Here the dominant trait is present. That is why dominant trait will take the appearance or progeny of the new offspring. That is what you have to understand. They will be formed by one pair of chromosome, but the dominant trait will decide in the two either the how the organism needs to appear in the future. Do you understand, guys? Offsprings. That is what you have to remember. So if we take this pea plant progeny, this is what done by the Mendel's. So what is happening? The tallness T from one parent and the tallness, the dwarfness gene small t from the another parent, then they will source the trade of tallness only. They will source the trade of tallness only because why here? A tall plant is the dominant trait and the small dwarf plant is the recessive trait. Is it yes or no, guys? Yes? Understand, Ra? Padmarshini?
Yes, sir.
That is what you have to understand. So whatever the finally I am saying you try to understand whatever the characteristic is developing in the offspring, whatever the characteristic is developing in the offspring, it is responsible for why one pair of chromosomes. Understand? If you'll observe anything, yellow seeds or green seeds or whatever wrinkled seeds or anything. So every characteristic in the offspring is responsible for by one pair of chromosomes, or we can say it is the genes. So now in this pair of genes, so let me imagine this is what the pair of genes we used to notice it. So now this is one pair and this is one gene and this is another gene. So now you tell me one gene is coming from the male parent, another gene is coming from the female parent. That is what I am saying you during the sexual reproduction will happen. But this is the offspring which is appears. So how it is appears after formation is decided by a dominant gene. Do you understand, guys? Recessive gene is present, but dominant gene will decide how the organism is going to appear in the after sexual reproduction. Do you understand, everybody? So that is what you need to understand from the how this sexual reproduction, during the sexual reproduction, the genes, the characteristics is transforming from one parents to another parents. So if you take, suppose both the parents, they will pass one copy of each recessive gene. For example, you can take F1 generation crossing. Anybody can say F1 generation crossing? F1 generation monohybrid crossing? Please tell me. F1 generation monohybrid crossing. Two plants have been taken. One is what? Capital T, small t. Another one is
Small t.
capital T, small t. Now, fastly tell me, everybody, what is the plants will form here? Two gametes will form. Capital T and small t.
Capital T.
And this is what? Capital T and small t.
Small t.
Notice it. So, what is the first plant? Capital T, capital T.
Capital T. Capital T.
Next one.
T.
Speak
Capital
everybody.
T,
Capital
small
T,
t.
small t.
Small t.
Next one, what?
Capital T. Small t.
Small t, capital T, both okay. Next one. Last one is what?
Capital small t. Small t.
Small t. Have you
Small
noticed it? Now notice it. See. So this all the three plants. The appearance or the characteristics is decided by whom, guys? Dominant trait.
Tallness.
This is why it is used to appear what? It is used to appear tallness, because
Tall.
it is decided, it is dominated by the dominant trait. That is why it is appears by the tallness. Now, last plant if we'll take. Now you notice it. What is happening, guys? What is happening? One copy of each recessive gene. That is what? One parent is sharing the